Example 1, given that x plus 3 is a factor of g of x is 4x cubed minus 8x squared minus 35x plus 75, show that g of x can be written in the form g of x equals x plus 3 and then ax plus b all squared, where a and b are constants to be found. I'll show you the algebraic long division method first. To do this, you set up your division in the same way that you would set up a long division or a bus stop division. So you write what you're dividing here, and then on the outside, what you're dividing by. Then the first step is to divide 4x cubed by x. Or in other words, how many times does x go into 4x cubed? Either way, you'll get 4x squared, so that goes on the top. Your next step is to take that 4x squared and multiply it by each thing here. So multiplying by x gives 4x cubed, and multiplying by 3 gives plus 12x squared. We then subtract. This will give us 0. Minus 8 minus 12 is minus 20x squared. And then we need to bring down the next term. So bring down minus 35x. Then we just repeat the process. So this time minus 20x squared divided by x is minus 20x. Notice how I'm lining up the top numbers with what's inside the bus stop or inside the division symbol. We then take our negative 20x and multiply it by both x and 3. So in this case, it's going to be minus 20x squared minus 60x. We then subtract again. This will give us 0. And then just be careful here, minus 35x minus 60x is going to give you plus 25x. And then you need to bring down the next term. So bring down the plus 75. And then we repeat the process again. So 25x this time divided by x will be 25. We then multiply that 25 by the x and the 3, and that's going to be plus 25x plus 75, and then we minus. And this will give us 0. That 0 at the end tells us that there's no remainder. And that is what we would expect in this case, because the question said that x plus 3 is a factor of that polynomial, so we're not expecting a remainder. Finish this one off, we can say that means g of x is equal to x plus 3, and then 4x squared minus 20x plus 25. We can then factorize that, so x plus 3, and then using whichever method you prefer, that would be 2x minus 5, 2x minus 5, which can then be written as x plus 3, 2x minus 5, all squared. And that is the form they required, so we could put as required. And you could even say that means a equals 2, and b is negative 5. Next, let's do that same example, but with the box method instead. So same question, but this time, to set up the box method, you want to draw yourself a grid. Just going to make those lines a bit bolder. And this time, whatever you're dividing by, so in this case, the x plus 3, goes down like this. You then put 4x cubed here, because that's the first thing in the polynomial that you're trying to divide. You then do 4x cubed divided by x, or in other words, x times what gives you 4x cubed, and that would be 4x squared, so that goes up there. You then take your 4x squared and you multiply it by 3, which would give you plus 12x squared, which you write there. That column is done, so we can put a line there. We then look at the next thing in the polynomial that we want to divide, which is minus 8x squared, and look at what we already have in the grid. So we already have plus 12x squared. So in order to get to negative 8x squared, we must take away 20x squared from 12x squared. So minus 20x squared goes there. We then repeat the process. So minus 20x squared divided by x is minus 20x, and minus 20x times 3 is minus 60x. Done with that column, so we can draw a line. Looking at what we next want to divide, that's minus 35x. We already have a minus 60x, so to get from minus 60x to minus 35x, we must add 25x, so that goes there. And then we repeat the process. So 25x divided by x is 25. 25 times 3 is plus 75. Looking at the next term in the polynomial that we want to divide, it is 75, and we already have a plus 75 inside the box, so we know that we're done. This is showing us that there is 0 remainder. So this part up here is your answer. So to finish this one off, we can say g of x equals x plus 3, and then 4x squared minus 20x plus 25, just like we got before from the previous method. You then factorize and write it in the form that they want. As required, a is 2, b is -5, and we're done. Example 2 is more of a year 2 style question. So we have f of x is equal to x to the power of 4 plus x cubed plus x minus 10 all over x squared plus 2x minus 3. Show that f of x can be written in the form ax squared plus bx plus c plus dx plus e over x squared plus 2x minus 3. This part on the end is a clue that you will have a remainder when you do your division. The other way you can tell there's going to be a remainder is if you look on the top of the fraction, we've got x to the power of 4, and on the bottom we've got x squared. So if the power on the top is ever equal to or greater than the power on the bottom, you most likely will have a remainder. Let's go ahead and do our algebraic long division. Now this time when I set it up, I'm going to do x to the power of 4 plus x cubed plus 0x squared as a placeholder plus x minus 10. That placeholder is important so you don't forget about anything to do with x squared. We want to divide this all by x squared plus 2x minus 3. So first step is x to the power of 4 divided by x squared. And that will give us x squared, so that can go on top of the placeholder. We then take our x squared and multiply it by each thing here to give x to the power of 4 plus 2x cubed minus 3x squared. We're then going to subtract. That's 0 or nothing. And then x cubed minus 2x cubed is minus x cubed. 0x squared minus 3x squared is plus 3x squared. And then we bring down the x. Repeating the process, so minus x cubed divided by x squared is minus x. Take your minus x and multiply it by each thing here. So minus x times x squared is minus x cubed. Minus x times 2x is minus 2x squared. And then we've got plus 3x. We subtract and we get 5x squared minus 2x. Bring down the negative 10 or minus 10. And then do it again. So 5x squared divided by x squared is 5 times the 5 by all three things there. And we get 5x squared plus 10x minus 15. Subtract. And we get minus 2 minus 10 is going to give us minus 12x. Minus 10 minus minus 15 gives you plus 5. And what's left at the bottom there is the remainder. So in terms of writing the final answer, it will be f of x equals the x squared minus x plus 5, and that was the part that we got at the top when we did our algebraic long division, plus the remainder, so minus 12x plus 5, all over x squared plus 2x minus 3. And that's it. I'll now show you that same example but using the box method instead. So even when using the box method, you're still going to want to add a placeholder for 0x squared. And the same would go for any term that doesn't have a coefficient in front of it. Add a placeholder. And then you set up your box or your grid. This time we're dividing by x squared plus 2x minus 3. So that goes down in a column. And then we start with the first term that we want to divide, in this case, x to the power of 4. And we put that inside the box here. X to the power of 4 divided by x squared is x squared, so that can go there. X squared times 2x is plus 2x cubed. And then x squared times minus 3 is minus 3x squared. And we can draw a line. Now let's have a look at the next term we want to divide, which is plus x cubed. We already have a plus 2x cubed inside the box. So to get from plus 2x cubed to just x cubed, we need to minus an x cubed. We then do our division again, so minus x cubed divided by x squared is minus x. Timesing now, so minus x times 2x is minus 2x squared. Minus x times minus 3 is plus 3x. Draw a line. Where do we want to go next? So we've got a plus 0x squared. In the box, we already have a minus 3x squared and a minus 2x squared. So minus 3x squared and minus 2x squared will give you minus 5x squared. Means you want to add a 5x squared in order to get to 0. Division, so 5x squared divided by x squared is plus 5. Timesing, so 5 times 2x is plus 10x. 5 times minus 3 is minus 15. Next term in the polynomial that we want to divide is plus x. We already have a 3x and a 10x, making 13x, and we want to get to plus 1x, means we would have to subtract 12x to get there. Now, If you try to divide minus 12x by x squared, it's not going to give you a sensible answer to put here. This tells you that minus 12x must be part of a remainder. So you don't have to do any of the division step, but you do need to check if there are any more terms left to be divided. And in this case, there is a minus 10. In the box, we already have a minus 15. To get to minus 10, we need to add 5. So this plus 5 will also be part of the remainder. These two terms form your remainder. And then you can write your final answer just like we did before. So we could say f of x equals x squared minus x plus 5, and then plus the remainder over x squared plus 2x minus 3. And that's it. That's it for now. If you found this video useful, please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And do share this with anyone else who you think might find it helpful. Thanks, and see you next time.